Is visiting the Raiders in Vegas, and everyone will see that. Let's welcome in our NFL insider Phil Yates and NFL front office insider Mike Tannenbaum. Phil, I'll start with you. What makes Shedeur Sanders such a good fit for the Raiders right now?
Well, right now the answer is not right now because they've got Geno Smith. This is why I'm actually kind of curious as to whether the team would actually use the 6th overall pick on Shedeur Sanders. But I think you would like about it is he would pair with an offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, that has been at multiple stops now. I know that we all think about what happened last year at Ohio State and say that's the kind of system that Chip Kelly is going to run. Maybe. I also think that Chip Kelly is a very adaptable coach who will take advantage of a player's greatest strengths, which in the case of and also touch on the football. So if he lands in Vegas, he's going to have to be patient. But if he can afford to be patient, the spot is a very good one because there is good offensive infrastructure right now with the Raiders.
And so, Mike T, in your mock draft, you had the Steelers trading up from 21 to 10, grabbing Sanders. They're also waiting on a decision from Aaron Rodgers, and we all are at this point. If you're the Steelers front office, what are you doing here with this situation?
Yeah, I actually like both situations and maybe a combination. So if you could get Aaron Rodgers, and I'm presuming when the owner comes out, the league meeting and said, hey, we're going to sign him, they may sign him. That's a one-year deal. I love Shedeur Sanders there long-term. I think it's an ideal fit with what Shedeur Sanders into the future. They're in a much better quarterback situation with that combination than at any point since Ben Roethlisberger.
So rushing record as I am if he gets to the right place.
Yeah, it's not the NFL. They got that blue field. Swagu, what's your bold prediction?
You ain't lying, Lou. That sucker looked like he cut out the side of a mountain. I got the Steelers trading up to take Shedeur Sanders in the draft higher than number 10. That's my bold prediction. We talked about going in the right direction and turns it back into a winning group.
My bold prediction had to do with Shedeur as well. It is that Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders end up on the same team. I say either the Cleveland or the Giants take Hunter in the first round and then trade back up into the first round to take Shedeur Sanders. I have no idea how realistic this is or how likely it is, but it sure does sound like a lot of fun, and I would think it would be a pretty cool story to see it happen. It would require, again, Cleveland and the Giants to pass on quarterback and then make a really bold move to get back up into the first round to take Shedeur Sanders. So, Lewis, I want to talk about Shedeur. You were at the Colorado Showcase last week. What did you see from Shedeur?
Everything that you see on tape, he confirmed it. Look, he's a guy who, and then on top of it, when you talk to the people there, you talk to the coaches, you talk to the young man, he's supremely confident. He's extremely intelligent. He's someone who likes to collaborate. He's someone who is invested in the game, who's going to be a good teammate. He's tough as hell. He got the crap beat out of him in the past 2 years with that offensive line. His dad will tell you that. We didn't protect him very much. This is my son, and I didn't do a good enough job protecting him. He had no running game, and he still persevered. He still had an adjusted completion percentage of darn near 80%. He's going to be fine. He's going to be a good pro. Just make sure you protect him and you help him out.
Swagu, Mel Kiper has him going 9th in his latest mock draft to the Saints. You like that idea for Shedeur Sanders?
I like that idea, Graz, but let me get on the soapbox right quick because I haven't been on TV in a while.
Yeah, please.
And I've heard all of these conversations. I get a chance to travel with Monday Night Countdown. Lou gets a chance to travel into these stadiums. Every quarterback in the NFL is cocky. Every one of them is arrogant. Every one of them think that they the best thing since sliced bread. So all of this conversation that I've been listening to about Shedeur and what comes with him, it comes with all of them that are good, that play at a very high level. When I was in the league, they were cocky. You think Peyton Manning wasn't cocky? You don't think Tom Brady was cocky? You don't think Patrick Mahomes is cocky and arrogant about how good he is at quarterback? I haven't met one in the NFL that don't think they the best guy to turn the ball loose on Sundays. So this being some kind of knock and wearing jewelry and talking like he talks and operating like he operates, all of that stuff is who these guys are. They don't all share in the same characteristics. They don't all share in the same mentality, but they all share in this one trait that they got a little bit of doo-doo in their neck. And Lou know the other word that is used for that a lot of people use to describe these quarterbacks that have a tremendous amount of success. So I hate that I've heard that that's a knock on him and people don't think that he has enough to be that. It's upon Sunday. When they show up to that stadium, they all think they the baddest thing that's ever happened to football. I want it. I wanted mine to be like that, and franchising and organizations want theirs to be like that. So let's please stop using that against Shedeur like he's an anomaly in thinking that he got all it takes to be really good at the quarterback position. And Graz, you know it well too, being in these stadiums and interviewing these guys. They all think they the best thing.
Anything schematically on the football field, it has more so to do with the organization of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think when more teams, more organizations break these young men when they come in the league than they actually build them up. And when you talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're still one of the blue chip franchises in the National Football League, primarily because of their head coach and Mike Tomlin. And so for me, when I look at Shedeur Sanders, it wouldn't be a bad thing for him to slide in the draft. Like, if you should do it, would you want to go to the New York Football Giants? Heck no. Like, with all the turmoil and everything that's surrounding an organization like the New York Football Giants, that's not a place that I would want to be to try to get my career started on the right path. But a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, we know that they're waiting on Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, that situation has to play itself out. But if I'm Shedeur, if I step into the Pittsburgh Steelers situation, there would be no pressure for me to just come in and be this quote-unquote savior type that a lot of these quarterbacks at the top of the draft are expected to be. You can come into a stable franchise and allow the organization and the players around them to help him, kind of as far as the process of getting going in the National Football League.
Yeah, I'm with you in terms of the stability that the Steelers provide and the fact that Shedeur can fit in with a team that's pretty much ready-made to make playoff runs as they do every year. They don't go below 500. Everybody knows that with Tomlin, and they have that structure. Here's where I would put a caveat to that. One thing that can destabilize a franchise is Aaron Rodgers. I do not want to put Aaron Rodgers and Shedeur Sanders together in that locker room because Aaron Rodgers is not known as the guy who's going to bring up a quarterback under his wing. And then if Aaron Rodgers starts playing like we saw with the Jets last season and Shedeur Sanders has everybody sort of screaming his name to come over there and take Aaron Rodgers' position, that creates volatility in a Steelers locker room that does not need volatility and does not, really thrive in that scenario no matter how good the coach is. I think Shedeur Sanders can be a good fit with that Steelers team, but it should be Shedeur and maybe a different veteran that he can play behind. But absolutely no way do you have Aaron Rodgers and the Sanders family sharing a spotlight in the same locker room.
Well, that other veteran that they have right now is Mason Rudolph. So if the season were to start today and he becomes a Pittsburgh Steeler, he'd be sitting behind Mason Rudolph for a little bit. But the interesting thing here is the Aaron Rodgers caveat in all of this. Like you point out, David, maybe he's waiting to see what they do with that 21st overall pick to decide whether he's going to go to the Steelers or maybe it's retirement at that point. It's just weird that what is today, April 10th, and he still hasn't made a decision. I don't know what he's waiting on. I'm sure that the Pittsburgh Steelers are probably thinking, hey, hurry up here because